The rodeo family is just, you know, you just miss them, and I just think about it all the time. I'm in the ER and I'll be talking to somebody and just little flashbacks will come back. And I think that's kind of what keeps me going. Such a great group of guys all over the country, the PRCA, IPRA, anywhere, ARA, SRA, ORA, just great guys.
This episode was recorded last fall at Mike Swearingen's Rodeo Reunion in Wyoming, New York. And sitting down with us is another true rodeo hand from the Northeast, Kenny Phillips. Kenny is the uncle of Dalen and Colton Swearingen, but he's got a story all his own. Raised in a rodeo family, influenced by his dad, Ed Phillips, Kenny built his way from local practice pens and Wednesday night buckouts all the way to the IFR, where he qualified twice and won the 1985 IPRA Bareback Riding World Championship. He later headed west, rode hard, broke his neck, came back, and eventually became an emergency room doctor. This one covers grit, faith, family, and one remarkable rodeo life. All right, we are back. Got another very special guest, man. There have been, Sam, on here tonight, a lot of rodeo legends. They've handed out awards, and we've got another legend that's sitting with us here. You met this young man. How old were you when you met this young man?
Probably about 10, 12 years old. I would say.
Yeah, I think I was 7 when I rode at your Little Britches rodeo that you had over here. Your dad put on.
Okay, well, I don't remember that,
Were you?
but I was 10. And I remember we were sitting at Atticorn there, and I was probably about 12, and we must about 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And I asked where you lived. They kept telling me near here, but I didn't get, exactly what you're talking about.
You didn't get exactly where near here was.
Near here was.
And of course, we're talking about the rodeo legend. He's finally joined the show. Mr. Kenny Phillips, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Good to have you on here.
Great to be here.
And we have talked about having you on the show for so long, and it's such a pleasure to have you. So, Sam, start us off. Take us back to the beginning. Set this one up.
Well, he's got it earlier than I do. My parents had Little Britches Rodeo at our house, and evidently Kenny was there and competed. It might have been the only time I ever beat him in his life, I guess.
Did he beat you?
No, I was too young to get on at that time.
Oh, so I beat you. Yes, finally. Yeah. Oh.
It was just that they had a steer, and my dad got me on there, and the rest was history.
I had fun.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you'd competed in front of an audience?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Now, your dad, Ed, right?
Yes.
Rodeo legend.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us a little bit. I know we tried to get him on. He's here.
Yeah.
We thought maybe you could grab him.
Yeah.
Just give us a little bit of his history, if you would, please.
Well, he went to a rodeo when my mom and dad, when they got together, they went to a rodeo, watched the rodeo. And this was when he was like, I think 19 years old or so, and decided he wanted to try riding and just started entering up. He just wanted to do it more, get better at it, and went down to Jim Shoulder's bareback riding and bull riding school in 1968 and came back from there, built a huge arena at his father's place and bought 2 bucking horses and 2 little Shetland ponies for me to get on, and just started getting on little ponies and riding them, and he was getting on bareback horses and just kind of took off.
Okay. And we had Fred Backless on the show, and he talked about coming and practicing with you guys.
Yep.
And something about rocks in the arena.
The first arena that we built at where my parents live now was a little rough. There were rocks, there were feed troughs, there was a camper, and it was a little obstacle course out there. And yeah, it was a little scary. And so when I started riding, and I'd hit the dirt out there, and my dad would have another horse back in there, and I'd get up and stumble back up and get back on. And I thought, well, if I'm going to have to keep doing this, I'm going to build a nice arena. I'm going to get the rocks out of there. I'm going to have it dug up. And so then we started having our Wednesday night buckouts, and that went on through the summer, spring and summer and early fall. And a lot of guys would come from around the area, Pennsylvania, and come up and ride and practice.
And how old would you been then, Kenny?
I would have been 16.
Oh, okay. High school rodeo at the time?
Well, we didn't have high school rodeos at that time, and so I was just competing with everybody else. And yeah, well, the smaller associations, ARA, SRA, ORA, all up and down the East Coast, and traveling with Sam and Mike, and what at the rodeos that I could ride at. And I would go to. That's when I kind of started going to the IRA rodeos with them, and then watching them. But kind of gained a whole new respect once you see the different calibers, and they just kind of gave you something to work on.
Okay. So you saw a big difference. You saw.
Yeah.
And this would have been late 80s?
Early 80s.
Early 80s, rather?
Yeah.
Late 70s, early 80s? Okay. And a lot going on in the IRA at that time. Longhorn Rodeo, a lot of stuff.
So that's when they had the world's toughest rodeos going on, and the Longhorn, and you see some of those guys. Clint Corey was right. He was kind of I saw him ride, and Benny Jordan,
Sure.
and just the spurring machine, railroad riding machines, and that's who I kind of modeled my riding after as well. Benny Jordan and Clint Wynn.
Yeah, and we always say you're only as good as your competition. Once you get out and see it, we think, how did they do that?
Yeah,
It's like, wow, we have to step it up.
Yeah.
And just like Kenny, his nephew, Dalen, he said to me, Dad, just said you're only as good as your competition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was
absolutely.
Like, I asked him, why are you going there? You can knock them dead here. Why are you
Right.
You know, it goes back to
Stepping
what we
up.
preached the whole life.
Yeah.
It is amazing when you get out there and see how good they are. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
You got to get there or you go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you took to it. I mean, you dug in and you went, Kenny.
Yeah, I think I've just always been very fortunate and blessed that I surrounded by good cowboys, had just riding on their mind and wanting better and better, and just very fortunate going down the road that you didn't get sidetracked, and that's what it was all about. It just went out there, rodeoed, got back in the truck, and went to the other rodeo, and just kept doing it.
We were blessed that way because it would have been so easy to take the wrong path.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you qualified for the IFR several times.
Yes. Yeah. I can't remember which one the first one was. Ended up winning the. I think I qualified twice to the IFR.
Twice, okay.
And then the third time I won the world. Riding.
Okay.
So it would have been for the 1985 season.
85. Yeah. You win the world championship.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then you said, I'm going west.
Yeah. So then I was traveling in Jack Wiseman's crew at that time, and we just really hit the road pretty hard. And I ended up going to actually college. I didn't know anything about college rodeos. And so in Wilburton, Oklahoma, the rodeo coach came out, offered me, said he knew who I was. I didn't know. And he just goes, hey, I'll give you a full ride. You can rodeo here. You don't have to pay for anything. You can still rodeo and just kind of show up for classes every once in a while. And that's what I did. And which going to college rodeos, I got to know some of the guys going out to Southwestern, and then I transferred over there the following year. So then I ended up won the world in the IPRA, and then transferred out to Weatherford, Oklahoma.
Okay. And studying?
I was just studying general technology courses. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I wanted to take college courses and had the opportunity, and I just kind of kept taking courses that I was familiar with in construction and building and stuff. So, but then the fall of '86, I broke my neck, and then that put big damper on my riding, and I still kept going to school, laid out a year from riding, went back to riding.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Now, had you had surgery?
Yeah. So I had a fusion, C4-5 fusion, and I did a lot of strenuous activities, carrying bricks and working carrying bricks. My traveling partner, his father, had a masonry company in Dallas, and I just got to strengthen myself up, and then I went back to riding a year later after I got injured.
Okay. And let's go back. How did you break your neck? What happened? I remember when I got the call in Florida that you broke your neck, it was like, took the wind right out of the sails, you know. It was like, oh, God. You know, just first thing you go to the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So what happened? How did you break?
So I was at a rodeo in Gilbert, Arizona, and the horse I drew was known to really be kind of difficult getting in. But you had either horse and the horse is known to really bail out of the chute when the gate opens up. And so I was staying up off of the horse, getting my hand in, and nodded and slid down on, and the gate opened up, and the horse reared back and hit the back of my neck on the back of the chute. And when the horse came out, I was still riding 2-3 jumps into the ride. My free arm's hanging down by my side, and I'm being tugged on, and I'm trying to double grab, and my free arm is unable to grab a hold of the rigging, and so I couldn't get my hand out. And by the time the horse yanked the hand out of the rigging, the whistle blew, and I was coming at the end of the arena, and the pickup horse is coming in. I can see out of the side, the pickup horse is coming in to come and get me, and he doesn't know what's going on, that I can't move my arms. So I just kicked, and the fence was on my right side, and the pickup horse was coming in on my left side. So I kicked my leg over, and I was going to jump off, kind of like you're going to slide into home plate on the ground, because coming up into the end of the fence at full speed, it wasn't going to be very good, and I wouldn't be able to hang on. Just when I did that, the pickup horse came in, and I landed on the butt of the pickup horse with my chest, which then the pickup horse was slowing down gradually. I slid off onto my feet and then laid onto the ground. And then when I was, he saved my fall, actually broke my fall. So then when I was on the ground, I realized I had a lot of pain in my neck. My arms were tingling. I had lost a lot of strength. And so then I just held my head straight, and I could I was laying on my right side. I could slide my right hand up and hold my head straight, so it's stiff. And then the paramedics came out, and they were moving my head around, trying to bandage up the cut I had on the back of my head. And I said, I've got a lot of pain in my neck. I've got my arms are tingling. And then they gave me a C-spine, and then they put me on the backboard and took me in.
And immediately into surgery.
Well, the following, they took me to an ER. It was a smaller ER, and found out I broke my neck, and then they had to transfer me to a larger hospital in Scottsdale, Arizona. And at that time, they very blessed that the surgeon there was ahead of his time, and that's when they were doing the plates, the C4-5 fusions and bone grafts, and instead of having to wearing the halo. And so the first day they were it was a double facet dislocation. So C4 was locked inside of C5 anteriorly, and they had to try to get that relocated. And so they put my head in tongs, and it was like a clamp, except they had two sharp bolts facing inward. And the surgeon opens up this cardboard box and brings this metal piece out, and he says, "Tell me when this starts hurting." And I said, "Well, and it felt like two pins poking one in each side of my head." And then all of a sudden I go, "Yeah, it's starting to hurt." And then he just starts cranking away, and it felt like my head was gonna collapse. And when he finished, I opened my eyes, and he had like 5 or 6 students around him, medical students around, and they just, their jaws were dropped, and they were like, couldn't believe what just happened. And no pain medication, nothing, because he didn't want to give me any pain medicine to make sure that I could still say, hey, my legs are getting numb. If something was getting worse, then they would take me into surgery right away. But he tried to pull it out, so that C-clamp attached to a pulley and weights And I was in that all night trying to distract that C4 vertebrae out of C5. And so the next morning it didn't come out. They x-rayed again, didn't come out. And that's when I decided to take me to surgery.
Well, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Okay, we're going to get to a better note. There's a lot there I didn't know.
Oh
and,
my gosh,
so
what a story.
I want to go.
And I'm just going to jump way ahead. You're studying construction, you're toting bricks, but you're talking like a doctor. I just have to tell you that. The way you just described. Do explain to our listeners.
Well, I went to medical school, or after I went to undergraduate school.
Yeah.
I was rodeoing during that time, taking courses, but then I got back to riding. I got hurt a second time. I had a saddle bronc horse throw me off up in Calgary and landed on the side and kind of did some stretch some spinal accessory nerves in my neck and weakened the muscles in my shoulder. And I went to a rodeo in Saskatoon that following day and was doing fine. And then went down to Sheridan, Wyoming the following day and got up in the morning. I tried to pick my arm up and it just wouldn't go up. And that's when I realized that I need to find out something that I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I continued taking courses, and then I thought about, well, maybe I'll go into veterinary school. So I started taking pre-vet courses. During that time, pre-vet and pre-med are the same basically, and so there were a lot of medical kids going into medical school. And I started talking with them, and I'm doing just as well as they're doing. And I really enjoyed the sciences and was good at it. And so I ended up going that route.
Well, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
When I talked to him, I said, "What are you going to school for?"
Yeah.
Basically, what are you taking up? He said, "Space." No. But it was welding first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it was airline pilot.
Airline pilot.
Did you tell me you're going to do that?
Well,
at one point?
I did. That was kind of aside. They offered a aviation course as well to get your pilot's license, and I started doing that. But getting the flight time is pretty costly, and I couldn't afford it at that time.
Yeah, and then it came medical.
Yeah,
and medical school just hit you. You went, "This is good."
Yeah. It's it's just really a blessing, and there was a gentleman out there in Weatherford, and his name was Dr. Joe Phillips, and he was a dentist. He was involved with the rodeo team and kind of took everybody under their wing, and he was real instrumental in getting me in. And it's just amazing. You look back and see all the people that were in the right place at the right time with my career, and they just one after another and just took me in. So after I got hurt the second time and I wanted to go into pre-med, my traveling partner that I used to rodeo with that lived in South Dakota, he had two friends and they were ER docs and they grew up in South Dakota. They were ranch raised, and they just happened to be in Oklahoma also, one in Oklahoma City and one in Tulsa they were both in ERs. And so it just fell, it just couldn't have happened any better. I couldn't have planned it better myself. It's just a miracle, it's just blessed by God. I'm telling you.
And you were riding barebacks at the time and saddle bronc riding and in the rankings headed towards the NFR.
Yeah. So I was, like 18th and 17th in both the bareback riding, saddle bronc riding, and looking at going to the NFR. And I was wanting to stop riding bareback horses, but I was doing well at it, and mainly because I just didn't have the strength in my left arm like I used to after my initial neck surgery. But then that happened. Ended up losing a lot of strength in my left arm after getting thrown off that saddle bronc horse at Calgary.
And today, pain?
My neck gets stiff mainly if I don't stretch and if I don't work out. Just the stress that you're under, carry it in your neck. But what I just found out, I just got to keep stretching and keep working out, and it's amazing how much better I feel doing that.
Yeah. And you are a doc in the ER?
I'm a ER board certified
Nice. Nice. And in
emergency medicine
Tulsa?
in Tulsa area.
Yeah.
So I'm with ER group of docs, partners in the ER group, and we supply ER docs to a lot of hospitals in the eastern Oklahoma area.
Okay. And you see any rodeo cowboys coming through?
Yeah. It's when I was doing my residency and I was moonlighting in ER up in Gannett, Oklahoma, and I looked over and I saw this guy walking away from me, and I said, "There's Gary Ratliff," and he had his son in there, and he got stepped on, and so I checked him out and ended up taking care of him, but yeah, it's funny how I just was just not expecting to see that.
Yeah. What a story.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. They make a movie about Kenny Phillips' life. Comedy, drama, what do we call it?
Oh, blessed.
Less.
Yeah.
Do it all again.
Yeah. You just can't. The rodeo family is just, you just miss them, and I just think about it all the time. I'm in the ER and I'll be talking to somebody and just little flashbacks will come back. And I think that's kind of what keeps me going. Such a great group of guys all over the country, the PRCA, IPRA, anywhere, ARA, SRA, ORA, just great guys.
For listeners that most don't know, but his father and his family is just amazing athletes, completely just through and through. But Ed was the toughest individual I know I've ever met. Just, no excuses, do it, and that's it. Yeah, and it's kind of the whole way, the mentality of the Phillips.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Yeah. And of course, the legends continue, right? Dalen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Talk a little bit about your nephew.
Yeah. And Dalen really amazes me. I mean, the ability of his riding and his spurring bulls, it's just like no other. And then to be as humble as he is just warms my heart to no end. And how much he is following the Lord. And he was just really a great guy to be under that much pressure all the time. Week after week and getting on that caliber of bulls is just incredible.
Absolutely.
And to watch Dalen get on a bareback horse, it was just like watching Kenny all over again.
Yeah.
And he never seen it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is identical. The way they walk up to the rigging, the way they sit in there and just move their hips in. It's identical.
Yeah. He's just an all around hand at anything he does. He's just an all around hand.
Yeah.
Just like him. Hits me right off.
Yeah.
Too
easy?
I want to start riding Bronx, Sam. Yeah, you go right ahead, Kenny. Hi. Oh, shit. Yeah, after 10. Look at this buckle, Sam. Look at this. Just amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah. And good athletes, as you said. We can't leave Colton out of this. He's out there in the world dogging, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And Colt, watching him dog, and when he first started out, I'm slowing his videos way down, and I said, okay, this is going, get that knee down or grab that inside horn a little faster, and it's just he's just really amazing bulldogger now. It's incredible. And he's so aggressive and so smooth.
And leaps and bounds from a year ago.
Yeah.
Leaps and bounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's going to be going to the NFR here shortly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
And we're cheering him on, man. We're cheering him on and watching him. Thank goodness for the Cowboy Channel.
Yeah.
Used to be we had to travel to go see.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And another question. If you could sit down for lunch with anybody, dead or alive, rodeo, whatever, who would it be and what would you want to talk about?
Probably Larry Mahan. Just kind of talk with him and just kind of listen to stories and be interesting. Just listen to him talking, with other people, the other guys he used to rodeo with. And 'cause I know when I get get together and we just talk about old times, and it would be from when he was rodeoing to now, and kind of, because even now we have cell phones and all this stuff, and we didn't have that back then, and it was probably even worse, when he was going. And that's kind of one thing, Jerry LaValle and I and Kelly Mole and a couple of other guys are kind of getting together once a month down in Tulsa at the Stockyards restaurant there. And we've been meeting up once a month and just kind of visiting. And yeah, it's really a great time. Yeah.
And all the years on the road and all the relationships on the road, all the different places, all the different challenges. What do you think you've carried on from the rodeo way, the rodeo learning, the rodeo teaching that you kind of lean on every day? Is there anything?
Yeah, you just gotta be, humble and good to everybody, and anybody you come up to, and don't make excuses, and you just whatever needs to get done, you get it done. And
Sounds like good advice for a young cowboy or cowgirl interested in their life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's easy to blame everybody else for what you should have done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And bad things happen sometimes, and maybe not your fault, but you just gotta keep them.
Well, and I hear your story about the broken neck and kind of the path it sets you on, quite frankly.
Yeah.
There are no accidents, they say.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm truly
Amazing.
blessed.
Truly blessed. That's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
All right. You'll be available. You'll be available to play the starring role.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Dalen got a beat by talking
He's
to
already
Larry
in.
Mahan.
Yeah.
And then the movie.
Yeah.
So Kenny's got some catching up to do.
Yes. Well, we're going to be there with you every step of the way.
All right.
All right.
Sounds
Well,
great.
thank you for being on the show. We want to have you back. There's so much more to cover.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you've
Yeah,
done
love it.
you've done the world toughest, you've done the Longhorn stuff. We're going to be headed down to Dallas, Fort Worth here in a couple of weeks. We're going to have an opportunity to sit down with Steve Gannon.
Oh, yeah.
Anything you would advise us to ask him?
Oh, I love going to his rodeos. Yeah. And it's just such a great event, family event, and, great acts, great cowboys, great stock. They were great events.
And Longhorn?
The same. Yeah. That, you just got to get choked up every time, the flag comes out, and the presentations they have each year, it changes up, and just really, it chokes you up and gets you fired up when you're back on the back of the chute there, getting ready to ride.
6 Wide Horses.
Yep.
Excellent, Kenny. Thank you for being on Beyond the Chutes.
Thank you very much.
Great talking
enjoyed it.
to you.
Enjoyed it.
That was Kenny Phillips, world champion bareback rider, rodeo hand, doctor, and a man whose life proves that grit and grace can ride side by side. This conversation was recorded last fall at Mike Swearengen's Rodeo Reunion in Wyoming, New York, where old rodeo friends gathered to remember the miles, the wrecks, the wins, and the people who shaped them. Kenny's story is also part of the larger family legacy that continues today through Dalen and Colton. For Sam Swearengen, I'm Doug Simcox. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you down the rodeo road. This is Beyond the Chutes, as presented by Parasite Systems and their partners at Midwest Veterinary Supply. We're back on the road in 2026, and now, more than ever, these stories matter. We're beginning our 4th year. Over 180 episodes in, and we're just getting started. You'll find us at rodeo reunions. You'll find us at today's events, and you'll find us right in the middle of it, recording, listening, and bringing these stories to you as they happen. We'll be at the King Brothers Rodeo Reunion May 30th in West Alexandria, Ohio. You can look them up on Facebook at King Brothers Rodeo. That's King BROS Rodeo. And if you're there, come find us. We'd sure like to meet you. We're also working on a new series, Cowboys and Cowgirls Rolling Smooth. We've partnered with Stan Cromlish, the podcaster, author, and cowboy. And in February, we sat down at the Kickback Ranch Rodeo Reunion and talked about the parallels between RV life and rodeo life on the road, something he captures in his Rollin' Smooth book series. This series is coming soon. You can check out his show, The Wandering Gypsy RV Life, on all the major streaming platforms. And he reminds us that all that wander are not lost. And we're proud to be supporting our BTC athletes during the 2026 rodeo season. Raymond Hotstedler, Eli Hirschberger, and I with breakaway roper Aubrey Wolf. We'll be following their journey all season long, and it's already underway. Now, this episode is also supported by Simcox & Company Barbershop in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Deb, Tom, Eli, and Troy. Good people who take care of their community the same way this sport does. Because this isn't just a sport, it's a way of life. It's been built on hard work, respect, kindness, and people who still show up for each other. That's the cowboy way. And if you believe in that, help us grow it. Follow us on our BTC Facebook page. Let's push this thing to 20,000 followers and beyond. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Subscribe, follow, and stay with us on the road. You don't want to miss a single episode this year. And if something you hear in one of our episodes sticks with you, share it with a friend, post it, text it, email it, because that's how these stories travel. That's how these stories get told. And again, these stories matter. From the road, from the arena, and from the people who live it and have lived it, this is Beyond the Chutes.